This conversation between Raheem Mostert and 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan might have changed the entire trajectory of Raheem Mostert's career, which is absolutely wild. And this is why I love this type of perspective and behind the scenes look that players give, because we think of much larger, broader things that determine players' success in the NFL. But one small conversation could have absolutely changed the trajectory for Raheem Mostert, who currently is tied in the NFL with Christian McCaffrey with 21 rushing touchdowns, the most in the entire league. So he's phenomenal. He's playing phenomenally. He's doing a great job over there in Miami. But again, these little nuggets of just like how some very small things, all the way down to a conversation, has completely changed the trajectory of Raheem Mostert's career. And that ultimately led to Raheem Mostert absolutely balling out with the San Francisco 49ers in 2019. And he capped that year, if you guys remember, the NFC Championship game, where he had 4 rushing touchdowns and 220 yards. And you can probably boil it down to this one conversation that Raheem had with Kyle Shanahan. Absolutely wild. Take a listen straight from Raheem Mostert himself.
This is coming from, you know how I am.
Yeah.
Like, I always try to reference, my career and like the path that I've gone through, right?
Yeah.
And my first like 4 or 5 years in the league, I really didn't see all that much action in the running back, backfield.
True.
And it didn't take me until about like year 6, 5.5, 6ish to like really start getting noticed that he could do this, right? I never forget, I had a conversation with Shanahan when I was with the Niners, and I think it was like the game before, right? I had put the ball on the ground, and he asked me a question. He said like what's going on, man? Like, are you all right? And I'm like, coach, like, honestly, to be honest with you, like, I don't get any like good reps. Like, I don't get like any reps in practice, and you expect me to go into a game and like hold on to the ball, or like you expect me to like, do all this amazing stuff that my talents, are able to make me do, right? Or to go out there and do something special when I don't even get any action in practice.
Yeah, true.
And he was like, well, you just walk around here like you're happy-go-lucky, like you got a smile on your face. I'm like, yeah, don't get this smile twisted in regards to like how I feel about my productivity and how I'm doing on the field. Like, yeah, I walk around this building happy and stuff, and I say hi to everybody. That's because I truly am blessed to be in a position that millions of other, athletes want to be in. And I truly feel like, every day is a blessing to me. Like, to be able to wake up and do something that you truly love, like playing football. Like, I've been playing this game since I was like 6, 7. This is all I've ever done. I've touched grass from the age of 6. Every year till now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whether, regardless of injury, regardless of anything else, like every year since the age of 6. Every year. And I'm 31 right now. Every year since the age of 6, I've touched the grass and put cleats on and played. Like,
it's different.
So you can't sit here and tell me like, oh yeah, this is something that, he just walks around and he's just so happy about. I'm truly happy. I really am. Like, I'm just frustrated and mad that you see me as like somebody that just doesn't care. Like, and so he was like, all right, well, we're gonna change that, bro. Next practice, I don't know what he did, but started getting handoffs, started getting looks, my game just elevated. So I appreciate, having that talk, but it was just like, damn, you really feel like that about me right now? Like, because you made me, because I'm happy,
And that's what gets like misconstrued sometimes. Because like, it's like, I can't, like, if I walk around and I come in and let my emotions show what I'm really feeling on the inside, like, you're going to look at me a totally different way. Now I'm a bad guy. Now I'm a bad seed.
You're a cancer.
Now like, you know what I'm saying? Now I need to be weeded out. But no, like, I'm just very passionate about what I do, especially when I feel like I could be a help. You know what I mean? Because like my whole thing is I never want to feel like I wasted time, like mine's or anybody's. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's always could be communication and stuff that could be talked about to where all that could be prevented. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like I said, it boils down to you just got to know, like, I'm still a player that had admirations of being an NFL running back, and not just running back, one that played. So like, don't take my kindness for a weakness. You know what I mean? Like,
but you know, it's like that moment right there. I actually felt like that was like the turning point in me elevating as a player, as a person inside the building. Because like now everybody sees me as, oh, you know, Raheem's always smiling, always happy. Once again, right? But he's also a good football player too, right? I hope everybody sees that, right? I want people to see that, you know, he's a reliable football player that gets on the field and, you know, he's a difference maker. Like he really puts in the effort, and he's someone that quite frankly you can't mess with.
What I love about this too is it again also indicates to me that Kyle is a player's coach. You know, I had questions early on about like what his relationships were with his players, and like if he really kind of vibed with them on that like intricate personal level. And he absolutely does. And I think that's why this team is continuing to evolve, and why players continue to develop within this system. And you have like mid to late round picks continue to ascend within this organization, being some of the top players in the league. I mean, George Kittle was a 5th-round pick. Talanoa Hufanga was a 5th-round pick, all pro. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. You know, Fred Warner's a 3rd-round pick. The list goes on of players that they've been able to develop within their system. And I look at this conversation between Raheem and Kyle as kind of like Kyle pays attention. Kyle understands. And I love that because, like I said, I did have some questions early on. I've always appreciated and loved Kyle Shanahan as a coach, as a play caller, as a designer, everything that he does, his innovative nature. I've always loved Kyle. But there's always that element of kind of, you know, what I would call, you know, emotional intelligence. At least that's what it's described as in psychology, just the ability to kind of see through all the stuff, to be able to connect with guys and find these things out. And to me, this is the proof that, of course, Kyle Shanahan is emotionally intelligent. I kind of feel silly questioning it. But again, I'm looking at this from the outside looking in. So I have a different perspective. I'm reverse engineering this, trying to observe from the outside. So that's why I like these conversations. Like, these are things that I've thought about. These are things that I'm like clearly have stewed on. And to be able to hear, you know, Raheem Mostert talk about it, like, man, Kyle just thought I was happy with whatever the situation was, and not understanding that I'm going to be a happy guy and I'm going to take advantage of my, you know, be happy for where I'm at. But that doesn't mean I'm happy with my role. That doesn't mean I'm happy with, you know, how I'm contributing to the team. And after that conversation, boom, Raheem Mostert's getting carries in practice. Raheem Mostert is getting more reps. And I think back to, I wonder if this was that 2019 season. Raheem Mostert, you know, was dealing with some fumbles early on. I think to that Pittsburgh game where he fumbled. And he was primarily a gunner on special teams, didn't really contribute a whole lot in the run game. And by the end of the year, he was our top back. So I think that's right around where this conversation probably happened, if I had to speculate. And again, to see Raheem Mostert's maturation throughout that season and how he's continued to develop into where he is now, you could probably go back to this conversation and kind of changing his career. Because if he doesn't get that opportunity, does he even get the opportunity in Miami? So I think this is fascinating. And I love, again, one of the main takeaways, Kyle Shanahan listening to what Raheem said and changing the situation. And as a result, just like Raheem said, it was ascension from there. And that these are the things that I love as a former player, because these were the things that I was paying attention to as a player, because as I've told this story before, I've always loved football evaluation, player evaluation, why players are good, why some players aren't good, why guys that have talent aren't that good, and why guys that don't have that much talent actually end up being good. I've always tried to like understand this situation, and I think that again, this is just another one of those examples of how a conversation between a coach and a player can change someone's entire career. One conversation. And that to me is fascinating. I love that. I love football. I'm a football purist, I'm a football nerd. So these types of things, I love it. I love to hear it, and I love to hear it about my team. I love to hear it for Kyle Shanahan. I love to hear it for Raheem Mostert, even though he isn't on our team anymore. Raheem Mostert was always someone who showed my channel a ton of love. I remember I was at the doing my first combine, and I was doing a live on Instagram. Raheem Mostert drops into the comments and says, "Who are we scouting?" Like, Raheem Mostert's just a genuinely good dude, and he cares about everyone. And again, he's a happy guy, and he deserves everything that's coming his way. And I'm glad that he's having this success. Again, we know his story cut 6, 7, 8 times before landing with the Niners and finding his footing. But again, crazy how you can almost dial it down to one conversation. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.